Hi Leo, I hope that you're all doing well. This reading is going to be about what you need to know for September. We are starting off immediately with the lovers. The lovers can put a center focus on a relationship of yours. It can also put into center focus choices that have to be made within relationships. This would be a prominent relationship in your life. If you've been feeling stuck with someone, it does look like things are going to be moving forward. I'm seeing the Six of Swords here. That means that if things were going on with you and this person, whoever this is, it can be different things. Like this can be a partner, it can be like somebody that you're married to, somebody you're in a romantic relationship. It can be somebody that you've been working closely with. So lots of different ways that this can manifest, but it would be somebody that you've been interacting with a lot lately, a relationship that would feel pretty relevant right now. So this wouldn't feel like out of the blue. You could have been having problems with someone, so it would have been feeling like relationship problems, something of that nature. But what I'm seeing is that there's going to be a moving forward. So if you were feeling like, when are things going to get better? You could have been feeling stuck, not sure what was going to happen. This definitely is looking like there's a moving forward now. So it's not just like stuck here circulating, there's the moving forward. And it also feels like there's ground that's going to be broken communication wise. So that can mean if there was like a circular conversation that was happening, or you felt like it was circular mentally for you, that's not going to be the case anymore. So I'm seeing things move forward. So whatever that is, you're not going to be stuck in it anymore. Things actually look pretty solid. I am seeing 10 of Pentacles. You can be talking about what's important to you, especially in a broader sense. You can even feel like you figured out something important. Okay. I am seeing the Death card. This can mean one of two things. For some of you, this can be finalizing something with someone, where a Death card can be like divorce, separation, the relationship coming to an end. If that's not the case, what this can mean is that moving forward, things are going to look different no matter what. So it's not going to be the same old relationship. So you could either be truly splitting ways with this person, like the relationship is not going to be the same, or if you're moving forward, something has changed and something is evolving within your relationship. It doesn't have to be that you guys are not connected anymore, but for some of you, it can be the end of the relationship. Some of you even to pursue separate things that you can feel are calling to you. But if you do make the choice to stay together, this feels like things are not going to feel the way that they were before. So there's going to be a moving forward no matter what, whether it be together or not together. Now is not the time where it's going to feel like we've just been circulating here and not going anywhere. You are going to be moving forward. It's not going to feel like you're under pressure the way that you were before. That means too, like, important decisions can be being made. What that means also, I'm seeing like very, very vulnerable, transparent communication happening. You know when you get to the point where you're like, I have nothing left to lose, or like no pride left to get in the way of things. I'm going to be just totally clear and upfront. I'm seeing a conversation like that happening. There can even be a psychological shift that allows this to occur. I will say too, with the Death card, there can be a threat of like losing everything if change did not happen. Or it can be that point of, well, this isn't going to go on any longer, so I might as well be very like clear and upfront now. No matter what, the relationship isn't going to feel the same, is what I'm seeing. No matter what ends up happening. Things will be different. Okay, it looks like this is a conversation that's been sort of being stoked. I'm not seeing this just be one conversation that's being had. This feels like multiple conversations. Feels like so things can feel, so you can feel secure. But change needed to occur first, so you could have been feeling very insecure. But I'm seeing you go from Death card to Ten of Pentacles. So what this means is that you may have had to surrender things. There could have been loss, there could have been grieving, you could have even felt like you went through some type of ego death, psychological change and shift, and even like recognizing what's at stake. And then when you're in that, because Scorpio can be kind of like a rock bottom that one gets to of this is just what it is and what we've been left with, like you can only gain from here. I'm seeing you start in that position with this person, and then I'm seeing you're leading to the Ten of Pentacles. So it looks like from nothing to everything. That's the way that things are going here. There could have even been a realizing what's important. That can be part of this as well. A recognition of that. It looks too like how you communicate with this person. This can also be how you think about things, how you relate to your emotions, and how you communicate with this person. I'm seeing something be different. And it feels too like the conversation is centering around what essentially is being invested in and where you're hoping that to go. Like where that will take things. Kind of like if I keep putting my energy into this, what am I hoping ends up happening because of that? And that's what I'm seeing be going on, and there can be problem solving that's being figured out that's connected with this. And it looks to like a very vulnerable conversation that you have with this person about like what you guys are doing, like what the hope is, especially for like long-term things. This feels like a conversation that isn't solely about things happening immediately, that there's also something being communicated within the conversation with this person about long-term stuff, things that aren't just going to be about what's happening this month, but like months and maybe for some of you even years down the line. I do feel too like something could have been taken apart or even felt like it fell apart completely, so things can be built back the right way with you and this person, or a way that like works for you guys now. That can very much be part of this too. Because I will say in the beginning of this, it feels like everything bare bones, but then I'm seeing us like very quickly move towards the Ten of Pentacles, and that's feeling like things really come back together, and it actually feels like that's the right way for things to be. And you can feel like you have much more to work with than what you had before. And for some of you too, starting over here with the Lovers can be just something going on with you and another person, just one person in front of you. Having us end over here with Ten of Pentacles, there can be like family involved or like other people involved, or it can be like children or pets, like that type of thing. That can also be involved too, or like home, house, resources, especially maybe resources is the right word. It can be things like, yeah, I guess resources would be the right word. I'm getting like a Venus energy from this. So it can be like possessions and stuff like that. That can be involved in this too. Seeing like paintings and whatnot. So those types of things. So rather than it just over in the front or in the beginning of this, I'm seeing it just be a very interpersonal thing. But then I'm seeing like everything else that surrounds your relationship coming into play at the end of this. And ultimately, the two of you, I'm seeing a lot of communication that's happening with you guys about the relationship, about changes that are happening, about like where things are going and what the intention is for that too. And also there can be some vulnerability now that wasn't there before. This can also be a big choice that's being made that had been unresolved before, about the next steps of things. There could have been some like anguish or stress that was also involved as well. It does look like something happened with you and this person that I don't know if that's what kicked things off or that's just what came up, but it could have felt like, for some of you, there could have been some type of deception that was involved. It doesn't have to only be that. It can be like deception, it can be covering something up, it can be like not communicating vulnerably, clearly. There could have been a lack of transparency. There could have been maybe doing something and being like, I feel ashamed of this and I don't want this other person to see. So like doing things from that perspective, or just doing things that one looks at and realizes like this is sabotaging the relationship. So if one was doing that, this can also be addressing like the psychology, addressing the thinking that can be involved in it too. Like the thinking and then what's communicated based off of that, especially where one doesn't want to be seen or doesn't want to be vulnerable, and then how that impacts the relationship, both with oneself and then also like the relationship that you have with this person, and wanting to move forward with that. Like, I don't want to be stuck in this anymore, in this regressive thing. I want to be able to move forward. And this can be like realizing too, like what's not sufficient and what one is not happy with, and really moving forward with things and making that judgment call. But that could have been too, like, you have to have basically everything on the table in order to assess it and analyze, and maybe everything wasn't on the table before, but it feels like now everything is on the table. But before, there could have been stuff that was sort of just stuff that was missing before, pieces that were missing before, but now it looks like all of the information is there. There can also still be a fear that's surrounding the Ten of Pentacles. So what this means is that if you have things outside of your relationship that are connected with you and this person, that can be brought up into the space of something that's going to be addressed. Meaning, if you have things with finances, things with resources, things with family, children, housing, those types of things, just like your livelihood or stability or security in general, I'm seeing there be this stuff all being relevant basically to what's going on and what's being worked out with you and this person. And also how it can feel like if one or both of you guys are going through personal changes and transformations and evolving, how that affects you on an individual level, and then how that also affects the relationship in turn. Trying to understand one's emotions, how things may be different, what those feelings mean, and to find answers based off of that. And one may even be investing too in one's own like psyche and understanding of things. So there can be stuff going on that had been somewhat unconscious before, or not revealed before, or just things that were unknown that are being looked into now. What this can mean also is that investments have been being made, and one may not know like what exactly is going to happen. But also with the Magician here, it feels like that's going to be figured out with you and this person. Like, as we stand here together, what's going to happen with us? What are we doing with the relationship? What's our intention with the relationship? Are we going to stay together? Are we not going to stay together? Are we going to give this another chance? Are we too closed off to do that? You know, vulnerability can really be a big thing that's coming up here, because I am seeing Five of Swords, and what this can mean is that there may be like resentment. It doesn't only have to be resentment, or there can be this one feeling, this need to enact some type of self-preservation that can pit you two against one another. So that can be happening. Like there can be this feeling of, I don't know if I'm like safe to let my guard down with this person. And that can be part of the test with you and this person. If like both parties are not willing to put their guard down and work on things together, that may be the thing that ends up separating the two of you. Or you can work with that part of yourself and decide, no, I want to be vulnerable with this person, and then or they will decide that with you. It really just depends whose energy that is. It could be both of you guys, it could be one of you guys, but ultimately it feels like it's going to, like the fate of your relationship and sort of what's going to be happening, those things are going to move forward now. So if you had been feeling like all of this stuff was up in the air and you didn't know what was going to be happening, it looks very much like there's going to be a decisiveness that things can finally move forward with that before we're not able to move forward. Because it feels like not everything was on the table, and now it feels like everything's on the table, and there will be a decision that's being made, essentially. All right, my friends, we are going to leave the reading here. I would like to thank everyone for connecting. Thank you for tuning in. I'm sending everybody love, and I hope to catch you guys next time.